The gift of being a super empath. Years ago, when I started on my conscious awakening journey, I thought there were only few of us who were empaths and not everybody were, because of how I felt. I felt so much energies from everybody, from everything and everywhere. I was sensitive to everything around me, all the energies around me. And so I thought there were only a few of us, or there were only some of us who could feel this way. But I was not correct. As I progressed into my journey, I learned that everybody is an empath. Every human being, and not just human beings, all animals, all plants, all sentient beings, we are all empaths. We can all feel and see and hear more than what we can see, hear, touch in the physical. The only difference is the degrees of the sensitivities and the awareness. That's the only difference of how much one can feel, of how much I can feel, how much you can feel, how much some people can feel. The degrees may be different. And the awareness of what I'm feeling. And the huge difference is there in the awareness, because so many people can feel. We can feel the anger. We can feel the fear, we can feel the energies of anger, of fear, of sadness, but we're constantly throwing at each other. Let's say people are throwing anger at each other all the time, every day. People are sharing fear, people are sharing and transferring sadness to each other when they're talking about certain things that they feel the fear or the sadness about. So everybody feels all the energies. But it is just the way that we function from at the moment in this stage that we are in our evolution story. The way we function, most people function from this place of unawareness, that they are not aware, that we are not aware of what it is that I'm doing. How am I throwing this energy at somebody? How am I transmitting this energy of anger? How am I throwing this energy at somebody? How am I transferring this energy of sadness to somebody, this fear to somebody? So most of us are not aware of that, and that's the big difference. But the fact that we can feel all this and we're sensitive to energies around is a gift. It is a gift. It is the evidence of the true human potential. So when we can feel so much, when we're high on the sensitivity chart, we can sometimes allow ourselves to be in that protective mode rather than using that opportunity to learn and grow. So we tend to, or we sometimes do that, we can do that, we tend to keep ourselves in this protective cocoon, in this protective self mode, that I don't want to go out and be with people because I feel overwhelmed, I feel anxious, and I know how it feels. I know exactly how that feels, and that is true for many of us, how we feel in the midst of dense energies. And while it is okay to keep ourselves away from the dense energies for short periods of time, but the longer we keep ourselves in the protective mode, away from these dense energies, because that's where we feel safer and calmer, then we are not using the opportunity for us to grow, because these heavy moments, when we get into the state of overwhelm, when we get into the state of anxiety, the anxiousness, all of these are opportunities for us to grow. So whatever it is that we think about heavy energies, dense energies, whether we like it or not, but they are all opportunities for us to grow. So when we learn to use this opportunity to grow rather than keeping ourselves in the shell, in the protective shell, then we can begin to see the transformation in our own conscious journey or in our healing journeys. So it's all about understanding where we are. What am I feeling? How do I feel when I go out and I am in the midst of these dense energies? And how can I use this potential? How can I use this gift? So when you think that you're a super empath because you can feel so much, yes, it is not a painful experience for us to feel so much, because this is what I used to think in the past, that it is so heavy to feel so much from everybody. And then I learned to teach myself how to be aware of the energies of others, be aware of the dense energies, be aware of the fear, be aware of others' anger, but not soak them up or not react to them. I learned and I taught myself to stay in my own energy, and if I do soak up, if I have soaked up a little bit of something from somewhere, then I learned to release them from my system. So this is what it's about. We are all energy beings, and we are going to constantly soak up from each other. We are going to transmit all the energies all the time. So when we become aware, we can step into this gift of being a super empath and use that to be the true human potential. Use our potential to be the human beings that we are by design. That we are here to share love, we are here to share joy, we are here to share peace. And no, anger, fear, sadness, they're not bad things. They're not negative as in they are something bad for us and therefore we should not be in the negative vibe, as some people would say. No, they are just experiences for us. They are beautiful guidances for us. They are beautiful lessons for us when we go through the anger, the fear, the sadness. But when we are aware of this, and we can begin to release them, we can begin to use that information to help others. So the gift of being a super empath is that when we can feel so much, and when people come to us for healing, if you are an energy healer, or if you are working in some form of a modality where you are helping others, these information that we pick up from others, we can use them to help them. And no, we're not supposed to keep them because it doesn't belong to us, so we let them go by sharing what we receive from them with the person, and then we help them in the way that we can for whatever dense energies, heavy energies that they are carrying, and how we can help them release them and purify themselves. And the more we do that, we can all collectively grow as a beautiful human tribe that we are on this planet. And we're here to do that, to share this gift with each other, but to use this gift in the way that we can all evolve in our collective story. And it is time for us to do that. It is time for us to upgrade ourselves from that protective mode to being of service. And we're here to do that. That's what we're here for. To be of service to ourselves, to be of service to each other, to be of service to the planet, to be of service to the universe. That's what we're here for. And it's time for us to step into that and use our gifts as beings of light, beings of senses, that we can feel all this, we can see, we can hear, and we can use these gifts that we have towards a future of light. But that does not mean that we think that darkness is something bad. It isn't. Darkness plays a part. Without darkness, we cannot appreciate light. Without the white and the black in a yin-yang, there is no balance. So we all play a part, but it's about learning how we can use the information of challenges, of darkness, of dense energies, of heavy energies. How can we use that information for our own growth, for our collective growth? And be grateful for these gifts that we have, and be grateful for this potential that we are as human beings. And that's what we are at this stage in our evolution story, to truly unfold the human potential. It's time for us to do that. So let's begin. Let's do this.